So, chances are, if you were here soon after I posted this video, you're a regular around here. Thanks for that, by the way. Just doing my best over here. And if you are a regular, you know I got a pre-release review unit of the newest big deal handheld gaming PC, heralding in the second generation wave of such devices on the newest AMD hardware, the ROG Ally. And I made a bunch of videos about it. Anyway, in all of that testing, plus of course, the reason I suspect any non-regulars have clicked here, the looming release of both a massive, literally game-changing update that goes way farther than just a simple content patch, and the massive DLC expansion, Phantom Liberty, that precedes. You combine all of these things, and it leaves me with a strong desire to do my fourth full playthrough of the game before that DLC comes out. However, I've started to realize that playing Cyberpunk 2077 right now might be a really dumb idea. In fact, I strongly advise against it, which is an absolute reversal of the most recent advice I gave people about this game. As for why I changed my mind, well, first, please allow me the indulgence of making a little money with a sponsored spot. This video is brought to you by Ugreen's GAN X 100 watts fast charger. The Ugreen Nexode 100 watt charger features 100 watts max fast charge, supporting USB-C power delivery 3.0. It supports fast charge devices like my MacBook, so I can quickly juice up my laptop on the go. You can plug in one especially thirsty device and get the entire 100 watts to one singular output, or, of course, you can share it across all 4 ports for several devices. And yes, it can, and indeed will, easily support the full 30-watt turbo mode on my ROG Ally. It's what they call a GAN charger, short for gallium nitride, and the fun techno-babbly stuff aside, that just means it's compact and efficient. And with a fold-away plug, it becomes very compact and absolutely perfect for travel, which it will also do easily thanks to its multi-voltage compatibility. So whether it's the 120 volts from a socket in the USA, 100 volts in Japan, or the full 240 volts of places like right here in Aussie land, you'll get seamless power, no worries. Check out the links in the down below to the Ugreen Prime Day deals and get up to 40% off. Right, thank you for that. Now, before we dive in properly, let me know in the down below real quick, say, on a scale of banana to lasagna, how excited you are for the Phantom Liberty DLC, with banana being, maybe, I don't know, whatever, and lasagna being, is it September 26th yet? Can I play yet? Please tell me I can play Phantom Liberty now, please. However, before we even get to Phantom Liberty, we're getting what was originally considered patch 1.7, previous patch being 1.6 naturally enough, but is now being largely referred to as patch 2.0 because of the near complete overhaul of basically every single base system and mechanic in the game. So vast and so deep is this update to the underpinnings of the game, they're even changing the basic minimum and recommended PC specs for the game, significantly ramping them up, which may or may not be a bit of a problem for some of you out there. And with the abandoning of the last generation console versions at patch 1.6, they are now free to take better advantage of the current gen consoles, like adding ray traced reflections in addition to the existing ray traced shadows in the ray tracing mode on both PS5 and Xbox Series X. But way more impactful than any of that, from various outlets that have now had hands-on with Phantom Liberty preview and demos and what, are all reporting basically every single system in the game has been updated in some way or another, and many in very significant ways. And those mechanical and system changes fold right into the base game, not just for Phantom Liberty. Not even just for Phantom Liberty purchases. Everybody gets this update. There's of course the Police and Special Forces Max Stack updates to finally fix one of the biggest immersion problems in the game, that is, cops just bursting into existence whenever you clip a civilian or whatever, and just never stop doing that, or how colossally dumb their AI is when you run from them, because fighting them is utterly pointless, because they do just keep spawning in endlessly. There's no way you can win against them. You either run or you die. Now though, in 2.0, it will work properly. They'll arrive in vehicles instead of popping in out of thin air and around a corner or just right behind you. They'll ramp up the response directly tied to the severity of your crimes properly, and should you manage to stand your ground long enough and defeat enough of them, a boss will arrive, and defeating that boss will get you something worthwhile, and properly end that encounter. That's a lot more interesting than how it works right now. Car combat is coming too, leading to a more dynamic experience and different opportunities around that whole system. I'm not so jazzed by that because in pretty much every game where you can shoot while trying to drive a car at the same time, it always feels pretty awkward, I guess. In any case, way more interesting to me though, the way you build a character is going to be massively changed. Your cybernetics have been completely overhauled. There's a brand new system tied to how many and how powerful your various cybernetic implants are, and going overboard with that leads to some negative counter effects and debuffs and whatnot. So there's a whole new balancing act there when you build a character around your cybernetics, which frankly was really badly needed because it's surprisingly easy to just get very overpowered with some builds, and while hilarious at times, it was so easy to do you could actually accidentally just trivialize what should be more challenging encounters. And there is fun in that, but it also removes some of the fun of it being a challenge. So overhauling that system seems a very thoughtful and fun thing to do. Armor now is tied to your cyberware itself rather than your clothing, with some exceptions of actual armored clothing, like bulletproof vests and stuff, I suppose, which I'm not sure I'm going to dig that change. But considering how hard it was for me to find the right armadillo armor mod for my clothes in my last playthrough, maybe I'll welcome that change anyway. And weirdly enough, they say that this change means you can just wear whatever you want now without worrying about your overall defense and combat effectiveness. And that's weird because you could already do that, because in 1.6 they patched in a wardrobe system which was essentially transmog for your clothes anyway, so you could look however you wanted to look already and not worry about which one had the better armor and blah blah blah. But further to new and deeply changed ways in how character builds work, skill trees across the board have also been completely reworked, right down to how the skill tree itself works. There's a whole new interface for it, and how you unlock and progress and upgrade various skills and abilities has been utterly changed. With this also comes new and altered abilities and perks, supposedly moving away from the often percentage-based, aka RNG kind of stuff and buffs and boosts and whatnot of the existing skill tree, and instead you'll be focusing more on building them around more focused, class-based skills, which are a little more reliable in the field. And all of that is very interesting to me. And again, all of this is not just for Phantom Liberty, it is a global change to the base game, and you'll get access to all these changes in the 2.0 update, regardless of whether or not you buy Phantom Liberty or not. But yeah, among all of these updates and a pile of other smaller changes, just as deeply threaded, Cyberpunk Patch 2.0 might as well be considered a soft reboot of the game completely. So much is changing that I worry any existing character build, especially highly specialized ones, might wind up completely broken. And that's the main reason I'm saying don't play it right now, because all your work and effort might be for nothing. You might have to start again anyway. CDPR have said there will of course be a way to respec and convert an existing character across to the new system, but how well that is going to work for the particular kind of character you've built and the kind of character you want to build, we don't really know yet. What I do know is that my original character build from my very first playthrough when the game launched itself got utterly broken by updates far less significant than 2.0. It used to be a very powerful sniper stealth kind of build, but after a few of the initial updates, especially when they changed how perks worked and nerfed a bunch of skills and radically nerfed how clothing armor stacking worked, that once very powerful character became about as useful as a tap dancing elephant in a minefield. That character is literally unplayable to this day. And while I don't think the transition from 1.6 to 2.0 will be quite as broken for 95% of characters and people out there, I do still think it might be way smarter to actually wait for 2.0 to hit before starting a new character for the Phantom Liberty update, or even just a fresh base game playthrough. I mean, even outside of any worries about converting the character, starting a new character with 2.0, you're going to get to experience all of the new stuff from scratch as the game progresses anyway, which I imagine will be more fun anyway. And we are, less than 2 months away now, so yeah, why not wait at this point? However, but to contradict myself once more, it's complicated, all right? It's complicated. If you have already played through at least a couple of times and are feeling the itch to pop back in and are a PC player, and all of this applies to me directly, here's what I've been thinking I'm going to do. Now is absolutely the very best time possible, maybe ever, to do a heavily modded playthrough. The modding scene is very mature, it's still very active, we've got a couple of years worth of mods, there's a ton of really interesting, or powerful, creative, funny and significant mods out there that do really interesting things to the game. And right now might be the very last chance you get to give them a go in a heavily modded playthrough, because 2.0 is so huge and so deep, it will undoubtedly break completely a vast number of these mods, some of which might get fixed and updated, some probably pretty quickly. Some you might never see an update. They'll just remain broken forever, either because their author no longer wants to or doesn't care, or the thing they modded has changed so much in 2.0 it's kind of pointless to update that mod anyway. So that's my plan. My next full playthrough, starting sometime really soon now, maybe even this weekend, I don't know yet, depends on how much time I get to have a look through what mods are out there and make some decisions. My next full playthrough, live streamed game over on Twitch, will be a heavily modded Cyberpunk playthrough. And then, when 2.0 comes, I'll start a fresh vanilla character, experience 2.0 with a fresh vanilla character, not finish the game with that character yet, and let Phantom Liberty roll in as I'm progressing that playthrough. That, to me, feels like the best way to experience 2.0 and the DLC together while I'm in the middle of a regular playthrough and before the end game when I'm at, the peak of my power, so I don't accidentally trivialize whatever the DLC throws my way. And giving me some time to think about and experiment and build a character in a particular direction. Sounds like a solid plan to me, anyway. So, that's my advice. Do not, absolutely do not play Cyberpunk 2077 right now, but also do play the hell out of it with mods. Whatever you choose, either, both, neither, whatever. Just have fun with your games, guys. Have fun. Thank you very much for watching. I am Blunty. Thank you as always to the patrons that's scrolling our way up above there. And I will catch you next time.